Alright, so it's day 2. New Year's was just yesterday. Today's January 1st. So when you guys are watching this, it's probably like a week ahead of New Year's, but Happy New Year's. Hope you guys started your New Year's right. So the intro sequence, I know I didn't really explain what we were doing, but Ruben was just rolling each fender. We're going for a different approach on this car of how we're doing the fender work than the white chassis. So I don't know if you guys have watched the white chassis videos of doing Japanese fender work. So on the white chassis, what we did is we qualed or hammered out the rear quarter panels, and then we did a 90-degree, kind of like, I wouldn't call it a divot, it's more like an angle. That way the wheel just slips in. But with this chassis, because of this kit, because of the new kit, we want to run something a little bit more boxy. So we actually rolled them where they don't really look rolled, but they are. It's like widening up the fenders. So let me show you guys. So this front fender is a pretty good example of that. This front fender is pulled like a good bit, but as you guys can see, let me try to. It is pulled, but yet if you go out from like, I don't know, say about this far, it doesn't necessarily look pulled. So we're really not trying to do like fender flares. We're just kind of trying to do like fender pulling. That way the wheel just tucks up. But the nice thing about this front fender fitment is I actually don't rub at any right or left full lock. As you guys can see, there's still clearance around the wheel, but it's literally like this much clearance at all full lock. Like I should only be rubbing when the car compresses, which is nice. So yeah, that's kind of like the look we're going for. I'm super pumped on it. I love it. And yeah, so Ruben's gonna replicate those fenders on this side, and hopefully we can get all that done today. But that's enough talking for me. I'm gonna switch the camera to Ruben because he's doing all the fender work, and he'll explain what he's doing with the fenders.
I may as well not even exist.
We got Mark's fender work on the front here, and now we just gotta put it on all the corners. Usually I start off the back quarter panels, but I did that and then I realized I'm not liking it, so I went to the front because the front was the one that's the hardest to fit the wheels on this car. And the whole point is we've decided that we don't want to do a crazy pull on this, or like a crazy fender work. We're trying to keep it very flat because I really liked how the back looked like with the OEM flare. It looks really good with the rear bumper and the side skirts and stuff, just very mediocre. So this is how we pulled it. This is the front. This is the height that Mark will be running in the front, drifting, stance, whatever, everything. It just looks good. And it's very practical actually. Right now at a standstill, it actually doesn't even rub. Whichever lock you do, there's a little bit of room. So once it's actually driving and compressing, it'll rub barely, but you won't have to run into like Bondo cracking or anything. It'll just be like paint imperfections after heating up during drifting. So all it is really is it's just a pulled arch, this little flare on the S14. I just kept rolling it with a fender roller, and I lightly increase or decrease the angle of this arch. Instead of it being completely 90 degrees, now it's flared out a little bit. And that's what's gonna naturally happen drifting. So we did that and it looks super clean. I'm gonna go do the other front fender right now and adjust the ride height and stuff, and then it will be good to go. As for the look of the car, I am completely satisfied. It looks killer. It looks 50 times better than my car, hands down. I love it. I mean, I fitted up the kit really well on it too. Everything fit up great after the framework. Like seriously, like OEM gaps everywhere. So now it's just time to fool around with some fiberglass and get her pretty in one color. fitment up front is perfect. We finished up both sides, and I put some vinyl on it just so it's like mirrored. The fitment is exactly the same, the alignment is the same as normal. That's how I like to do work. So far this is all metal. It's just going to need a very light skim coat of Bondo in some areas. I try to keep it as minimal Bondo necessary. Like honestly, you can paint it like this and it looks good, but yeah, everything is very nice and neat. Fitment is acceptable, and I like it. So they look pretty darn OEM. If you put it right next to OEM, you'd notice that it is not the flare, but we came to conclusion with the kit and stuff, the OEM line and everything, it not being too bulged out, looks very good. I actually prefer it more than the fender bulging out with the kit, and that's a good thing that we installed it before doing fender work, because we would have bulged it out and we would have not been happy. To create the slip, front fenders like to flex a lot, so me and Mark put pressure points on it, kind of on opposite corners, to keep it from bowing out on the gaps or anything, and so that the main stress is going where you want it to pull out. Yeah, other than that, pretty simple. I fixed a few little creases on both sides to make sure that it's smooth. So I mean, these fenders are ready for Bondo. Next thing in line is to eliminate these little corner lights. The Navin bumper looks great with or without it. It just kind of matters what your car styling is. And me personally, they don't get eliminated too often. And I think it looked very neat with how clean this car is looking. So I'm just gonna eliminate them because I want to. Yeah. How do I eliminate these? I'm just gonna cut out this shape from the inside of the bumper after I pull it out, and then I'll put cardboard to get roughly the shape of on the outside. I'll just like set screw it in, and then I'm gonna lay some fiberglass mat in there, and once it hardens up, I'll pull it off, I nicely grind it down and throw a skin coat of Bondo. Block her down. Yes, sir.
The current state of the car, pretty much the same as you guys saw it last. Officially deleted.